I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for making the time. I've got Bjorvio with me. Bjorvio, say hi.
Hello there,
Hello. Say your name again. Biovio?
Bjorvio, like the letter B, the word your, V-O.
Bjorvio. Very cool. Very cool. Well, hello. I'm Kyle.
Pleasure to meet you again.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Wait, where did we meet before?
So, I very briefly, you were walking by at Fan Expo Dallas, and we just exchanged nods for like a brief second. So clearly, I was the most memorable person the entire day. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Fan Expo Dallas was crazy, so I
It was. Oh
apologize for
my
not
gosh, it was so
remembering.
hot in there too. Like it was
Yes.
so,
Okay,
and
so
there were
that
so
was
many
yeah.
people. It was so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was and you're welcome by the way for Sunday's AC. That was my doing because Friday and Saturday. So Friday it was the AC was broken and I was like tomorrow I'm bringing my personal fan to clip onto the pole next to me, get some air. Forgot to
Uh-huh.
bring it Saturday. Remembered it Sunday when the AC was back on. So me bringing my fan allowed the AC to come back on. So
Well, thank you so much for your kind contribution to society.
And you might know me from you might have seen, I don't know, I do some TikTok dancing videos. So Carl, you might know me from
do
my
you?
no, I don't. No, I don't. I wish I.
I was gonna say,
Please don't ever.
Hey, I'm not that bad at dancing. By the way, we know. Well, I personally know you best as the character you voice, Denki and Marco from One Piece, and you're absolutely incredible in those. So thank you
thank you.
for your work. But
Thank you.
I was stalking you a little bit on Instagram, and you have such a lovely family. Have you got three girls?
I have three girls. Thank you.
Wow! And what are their ages, if you don't mind saying?
Five turning six in September, three turning four in December, one turning two in April.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's busy though. You'd be a busy dad.
We are currently potty training our 3 year old, and it's incredible the difference, how different children are. My oldest, Kensington, potty trained in a day. She hates being dirty, and she was like, we knew she was ready earlier than like they say you're supposed to, because she would poop in her diaper and then take it off and be like, poop, poop. And we're like, let's potty train a day, done. Penelope, my middle child, she doesn't care at all. She's like, I pooped everywhere. That's cool. This is fine. And but she gave us a little sign that she was ready, and so we're like, let's jump on it. Let's try and make this happen. And so we're currently doing that, and it's been a little bit of a struggle. It's like two steps forward, one step back. So we're slowly making progress, but uh, it's been a challenge. What about you guys? So this is the dad podcast. So anime
Yeah,
dad podcast. Where's the dads here?
I'm basically Biorvio's dad, and I consider myself to be every protagonist anime dad out there. But no, I've got two kids. I've got a 6-year-old girl and a 3-year-old girl. And exactly the same with me. My 6-year-old potty trained very easily. My 3-year-old is having a lot of accidents, making the washing pile up. Um, Actually, we usually just throw the stuff away because it's too much to wash. Did you have a good day, Kyle?
Yeah, I was getting ready for my stream tonight. I'm having some about once a month I bring some friends IRL into my streaming area and we play like some retro game. We played original Smash Bros. We played
Ooh,
original Mario Party, and tonight we're playing original GoldenEye. And so I'm just kind of getting
yeah.
ready for that.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Well, if you ever want to be beaten in Smash Bros, the new one, just let us know. You know, me and Biorvio are average, but
It would need to be both of us on the same team against you in order to do it. But hey, it could be done.
No, I'm okay. I get my wins here and there, but the way I do my Smash Bros streams with Ultimate is I think you popped in, or
yeah,
your account popped in,
yeah.
Mhm.
and it's I always think it's weird. Like I get a tournament community has to like pop up around a fighting game. You know, every fighting game has some sort of a tournament community. But I always think it's funny with Smash Bros. Specifically, where I like to give tournament fighters a little bit of crap because they don't like to play Smash Bros. I've learned they like to play Street Fighter, but with a Smash Bros. Skin because they don't like items. They don't like time. You know, they like 1v1. It's like, no. Smash Bros. Is 4 players, all items, hazards, craziness, and chaos. And so that's what I do on my streams is everyone can play. So we get a good variety of skill level come in. And play. So I feel like I'm pretty average. Who do you guys main?
Bjorvio?
My main 3, ironically, are Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. I did not plan it that way. Nobody believes me, but it would be those 3 specifically. And it stinks because I am such a Zelda fan that is something that I would do. But that's just, I love playing those 3 so much that they're kind of my mains.
What about Sheik?
I am garbage with Sheik. Absolutely. Someone could hit me by a car and I'd be playing with one hand and I would still, as Link, and I'd still do better than if I was fully recovered 2 hands with Sheik.
Yeah, I'm not a big Sheik fan, but no, I get it. You know, Link is kind of the in between strong fighter, average fighter. Zelda is very floaty and uses magic, has range, and Ganondorf is the up close, heavy hitting character. So I can see where that's exactly. A good balance.
Plus, if you give me I've really trained with Link's bow, so I can hit a shot with his bow from anywhere on the map, no questions asked, no problem.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm probably a Link man myself, but I get my butt beaten by my 6.5-year-old regularly, so I wouldn't call myself an anyone man, to be honest. But no, it's good fun. I've just got a Nintendo Lite, and it's I love it to bits. It's
while we're on the subject, while we're on the subject of video games, I think you're going the same route I am.
Yes.
We just Anime Dad and I get together and play My Hero One's Justice 2 quite often.
Nice.
And I must say there's a line in there that you say that it cracks me up every single time. And it's there, you know, in the game you have this this thing where Kaminari, Kirishima, and Bakugo, when you get all 3 of them on a team, they have this little interaction or whatever. And then when Bakugo's like, "You're late, dumbass," and does his thing, and then Kirishima's like, "Whoa, that's dangerous." Every time he says that, I like fall on the ground laughing, and I don't know why.
Or Kaminari says that, right?
Kaminari says that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the only thing I don't like about that line is the challenge of dubbing video games is it happens very quickly. And unlike like when you're recording anime, like let's say that line was in anime dub, and it's like, oh hey, the line there's too few words. We need to add some words to make this fit the mouth flaps. You can't do that in games. In games, it's like you have 1.75 seconds to say this line. Oh, okay. So to me, it sounds a little slow. Like, what's the line? Say it again. He says, "Whoa, whoa, that's dangerous." Like I had to drag that out instead of just, "Whoa, that's dangerous." So that's the only downside of game dubbing is they're just like, stretch it out, go, we gotta go. And I'm like, oh, okay, we can't add any words. Nope, we gotta just stretch it out. And I'm like, all right. And same thing with going faster. Like sometimes it's like you gotta just spit these lines out, and it's like, can we cut some words? They can cut very minor words, but recording games is interesting. But that was so fun because we didn't dub One's Justice 1, and it's unfortunately a lot of people assume that like the One Piece games rarely get dubbed, and it's such a tragedy. But it's a separate license from the anime. The anime, the games, and the movies are all licensed separately by different companies. And a lot of times the games, like the deadlines are so intense that there's just not time. One Justice 2 was the one exception where the game had come out like 4 months earlier, and then we dubbed dubbed it in English, and it was a DLC thing. So that was cool. But
I remember that.
Yeah. That was a cool story because I was streaming, I think, Pokemon Sword, and Chris Waycamp, the voice of Aizawa, texted me. He goes, "Hey, Cliff, who voices Bakugo, just broke NDA with the game," because we had known the game had been dubbed for a while, and it was like we dubbed the game, and then the pandemic happened, and so everything got delayed. And then the people at Okratron were like, "Hey, the dub for the game, the DLC is dropping. It was this Saturday. Like it was like a Monday, and he said it was going to be Saturday. So we're all getting ready. Thursday, it was either Tuesday or Thursday. Chris texted me that, "Hey, Cliff just broke NDA," and I was like, "Oh no." And so I checked his Twitter, and he had retweeted like a video of someone being like, "Look, the DLC, the dub's out for One's Justice 2." And I was like, well, he didn't just straight up say it's coming. He was just sharing something else someone did. So I was on stream, this is all at the side. So on stream, I was like, hey, everyone, I got to check something real quick. So I had my Switch. So I, hit the home button. I'm going to the menu. I open One's Justice 2. I go to updates, and there's an update available. And I was just like vibrating. Hang on a second, guys. And I downloaded and updated it, and the dub was there. And then Matt Shipman and Brittany Lotta, they used to stream a lot, and they happened to have a few voice actors on playing Jackbox, and they saw I was playing, and like we're all just communicating behind the scenes, and so they all rated me. And so like Briner and Zeno Robinson, Kellen Goff, and Chris hopped on, and we we're all just like enjoying this moment of finally the dub for the game was out, and it was a really fun moment because it was chaotic, but also just a joyous occasion of us just listening to the game, because for a lot of people that was the first game they ever dubbed, and so it was cool. It was a cool moment. Sorry, long story.
No, that's a great story. That's really, really cool. Wow. No, we love the game. Bjorvio's main guy is Mirio in the game.
Nice.
And I think I take All Might the most. I'm still getting used to different people, but no, it's an incredible game. So on that topic of you saying particular, different lines, what's a line that people get you to say at expos that you might be sick of saying now?
Well, I have a little secret. My favorite line. So they'll ask me to say something or write something on like a print or like a Funko Pop, and they'll be like, write your favorite quote. My favorite quote, I have two, I have a few, but my favorite one, and the one I use to get into character when I'm going in for a recording session is, we basically just met you, so it's kind of telling that we all know your personality is flaming crap mixed with garbage. That's a lot to say and a lot to write. So, well, I love that one. I'm like, my favorite is I smell beef. So that's the one I usually write because it's only 3 words. But my new favorite is from season 6. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen season 6, but out of context, this will make no sense anyway. But it's wouldn't you rather relax instead? You could really use a bath.
I absolutely love that particular scene because it's so intense before that happens, and it's like you're always on the edge of your seat, and you're like, frick, it's so dark and intense. And then that scene comes up, and it's like, okay, and My Hero Academia is still funny and relaxed and has its moments of jokes.
That's for kind sure. I like to voice, everyone wants to voice villains. I rarely get the chance to voice a villain. I have a chronic condition where I just always sound a little nice. And so like I'll get like an unhinged or goofy villain every once in a while, but for the most part, I get a lot of the comedic roles. But I happen to love comedic roles, and especially in like moments like that, or in shows that are generally dark, being that character that brings levity to situations is always, that's kind of me in real life anyway. So being able to pour that into some kind of a show is always fun.
That's cool. That's awesome. And do you have anything that you say for Marco?
Marco, it's mostly attacks, because up until Wano, most of Marco's lines were Whitebeard, and so it's like, well, I can't just write Whitebeard. So it's like Phoenix Brand is one of my favorite attacks that he does, but I have a couple new ones. Phoenix Pyre Apple, I thought was a cool attack from the Wano arc, because I feel like it's the creator leaning into the Marco is a pineapple memes. Phoenix Pyre Apple. So that's been a new one that I've been writing on a lot of prints and stuff that I really like.
That's perfect. That's perfect. He's a cool character. He's a thirst trap. A lot of girls like him. But I've heard with those abs, I mean, who can not like abs.
Yeah.
But have you ever cosplayed one of them? One of them?
No, actors cosplaying as their characters is a little frowned upon.
Right.
The licensors generally don't like it. But I've never really been outside of like Halloween. I've never been much of a cosplayer.
Mm.
On stream, my long story short, I do not like the character Daisy in the Nintendo universe. Long story about why. Anyway, I don't like her at all. And so I was like, hey guys, here's this challenge. And I was like, if you meet the challenge, I'll cosplay as Daisy on stream. Challenge immediately met. And it's like, oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
I thought it was gonna be like over the course of many streams, and it was like 2 streams. So I was like, oh man. So I cosplayed as Daisy. It was brutal, but
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna find that picture. That needs to be
I'm sure you can find it.
the thumbnail of
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, well, we got some improv that we're gonna do, if that's okay, Kyle. We've got Bjorvio is good with voices, and you're amazing with voices as well. So I thought I've got some improv ideas from fans and that we just made up. Are you okay with that?
Sure. I'm not much of an improver, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, let's give it a go. All right, so now this is a bit of a mix. So we've got Yoda. Bjorvio is going to be Yoda from Star Wars, and he is trying to make Denki find another level. He's training Denki, so maybe Yoda can start, and Denki continue, and I'll just stop it when in a couple of hours. All right, go.
I will try and keep the voice up for that long and not kill my throat.
Focus you must have. Focus, yes, yes. Continuing to use lightning without training is a path to the dark side.
Yeah, focus isn't really my strong suit, but I'll try my best, weird green thing.
Do or do not. There is no try. No, no. Try, no. Do it. Yes, yes. No. Focus on palm of my hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. That's the best I can offer you. What's your name? Doya? I don't even remember, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Here we go. Ready? 1.3 million volts. Ooh, oops.
Well, that's a perfect spot to stop it, because that's my favorite. By the way, that thumbs up line is my daughters love it so much. My oldest daughter, she just flipping laughs her head off, and every time she does something silly, she does that little thing. So it makes us all laugh. So that's perfect. And that was a great Yoda as well. I think I feel smarter just by listening to you.
That was a good Yoda. Fun fact about that dumb Denki noise stuff. People, will ask me like, how did you come up with the voice for Denki? And I was like, well, Denki's just basically me, just kind of a little higher up. Like I just kind of get my energy up a bit and he slides right in. So that was easy. But it was the dumb Denki noises was me and Colleen Klinkenbeard, the director, just going back and forth, making noises at each other, trying to decide what sounded best. So that was a fun process. Oh, 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's when my child was born, basically. That is terrifying. That's time just moving too fast, to be honest.
Yeah.
But no, Colleen's amazing. I could actually see Luffy and Denki having a good relationship.
Oh heck yeah, for sure. Yeah, me and Colleen go way back, and she's one of my favorites.
Awesome. All right, we got one more. We got now Bakugo is a hard voice for you to do, Bjorvio, but let's see if you can do Bakugo with your current mic setup. Just by the way, just breaking the fourth wall here, Bjorvio is he finished work early to be here. I said Kyle's going to be on the street on the podcast, and he's like, frick, all right, I'm going to talk to my boss. I'm going to get you, which I'm very glad he did, because my Bakugo doesn't have a weird South African accent, so I'm very happy that Bjorvio is here. All right, so Bakugo, let's say Bakugo is changing He's trying to change Dinky's look. He doesn't like Dinky's look. You know, he thinks the yellow is a bit outdated and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm yeah, and keep it PG, Bjorvio. You know, Bakugo can get a little bit rough.
Yeah.
All right, when you're ready.
Hey, Charge Face! You know what you need? You need some gauntlets in order to store your electrical power on your hands. They should look like this.
I mean, whatever you say, Kachan. Can you make them for me?
Do I look like I have any ability to make those? Make them yourself, nerd. I didn't even make these in the first place. Some other stupid nerd did.
Hey, actually, Kachan, I think that means I got to go see May, and it's always a good time talking to May Hatsume. Thanks for the hookup, buddy. I know you did this. You're such a good guy. Kachan, I know you did this because you want me and May you want us to get together, and I appreciate that. You're a good friend. You're a good friend, Kachan. I'll see you later.
Up! No one asked you.
That's perfect. Good job. That was good. You great at improv, Kyle. That was perfect.
Oh, thank you.
You know, rolling into and that actually came through real nice, Bjorvio, that Bakugo voice.
I was wondering if your Zoom mic was gonna handle a Bakugo voice.
It doesn't always, especially howitzer impact. I think there was one episode that we did where I did a howitzer impact, and he was like, I think I ended up having to, when we got off the recording, I then got off, did a different one on my app, emailed it to him, and he put that in the episode instead.
Nice. That's called ADR. You did some ADR.
Hey, now where's my money?
There you go. Well, fun fact about Cliff in the game. I was talking about how games, it's like quick, go through it. So normally with like the anime, like let's say Cliff has like a 4-hour recording session for one episode of My Hero. They'll break it up and not necessarily 4 1-hour chunks, but like at least 2 2-hour chunks, because that's a taxing voice, especially if it's like a fight heavy episode. But the games, it was like just go. And so if you were to listen, if you play the story mode just front to back, over time you can hear Bakugo's voice get raspier and like you can hear it taxing on him slowly over time, more and more. Like he gets deeper and deeper and raspier and more raspy. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a hard.
That's why Cliff.
Hard voice.
Yeah. If you go talk to Cliff at a convention for very good reasons, I'll do whatever Denki line because it's a very easy voice for me to do. But I think Cliff limits it to one. I think once per con, maybe once a day. He's like one person can have me request something, or maybe he saves it for the panels. I don't remember, but he's like, especially if he has like a session like the Monday after the con, he's like, I got to make sure I have my voice and I can't be shouting Bakugo lines all weekend.
That makes a lot of sense.
Totally understandable. The first time when I learned I could do it, I was driving back home from a dinner with my in-laws, and I just had the idea of, let me just try a howitzer impact. I'm like, that sounds pretty good, but I think I can make it better. So I kept practicing the whole 45-minute drive home. And the next day I come into work and they're like, hey, how's it going? It's going good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like that for like 2 days.
Yeah. It's intense.
I spoke to Chuck Huber recently, the voice of Android 17, for those of you who don't know on listening, but and he was saying he was very lucky as well because he went to Chris Sabat and Chris is like, no, I just want your voice. I want less energy. Yeah, less energy. No fighting noises either. So he was like, frick, it's amazing. That's amazing. Because Chris Sabat was like, and then he was just like, had to do like 1 or 2 fighting noises the whole freaking series. So he was very happy with that. Well, we only got 5 more minutes to go, but I want we haven't even spoken about you too much. How did voice acting start for you, Kyle?
So I teach a lot of voiceover workshops, and so I have like a whole official way of getting into like voice acting, and it is the right way to get in. And so then I go through this whole rigmarole and people go, oh, is that what you did? And I go, No. What I did was I did something else in the industry. I came from audio engineering. I wanted to be a music producer. Um, but I kind of just fell into the Funimation system. I actually got in thanks to Chris Sabat, who was recording. I was recording him for like a Doritos commercial or something at a studio in downtown Dallas, and we hit it off. And he was like, "Hey, drop my name, and they'll hire you at Funimation." They did. And immediately, I did some acting when I was a kid and like a teenager, but mostly just like as a hobby and something on the side. Never thought it would be a career I'd go down. But then being in the booth and working with a director and an actor all day, every day, it like rekindled a desire to do it. So I kind of just started getting behind the mic, and like the characters that are like, "Watch out, look over there!" Like I would just kind of go in and do that stuff. And eventually, I kind of was just doing it more and more. And Tyler Walker, who's the voice of Gang Orca in My Hero, but he's a longtime writer and director. He cast me as this random guy in Fairy Tale, like episode like 20 something, who is being dragged by the main character and he's just like flipping out. And so Tyler was like, this guy has some energy and he can yell. So then he cast me as my first named role, Jason, the reporter in Fairy Tale. And then kind of from there, just started getting more and more.
Cool. That's incredible. That's so cool. That's cool that you started behind the scenes and worked your way in. And now, for those people listening, because we have a lot of voice actors or wannabe voice actors who want to get into the industry, how do they do your course? I know spaces are limited, but where can they find your course?
Yeah, you would just go to kylephillipsclasses.com. And I do have in-person and remote spots. So if you live anywhere in the world, time zones, of course, are kind of a beating, but you would just go there, look for the information there, and if you think it's what you want to do, go for it. What I like to do, I like to work with people. I developed a reputation as a director for developing new talent. I like working with new people and kind of getting them up to speed. It's not a lecture, it's not a listen to me talk. It's, hey, let's get in, and there is some like, here's some information that's really helpful. Here's some tips and tricks that'll kind of help you along, but also like, hey, let's get you in the booth, or if you're remote, let's get you in the booth, and let's work with you and hear what you sound like, hear what you can do, and all that fun stuff. So I really took a love to teaching and helping people achieve their dreams. So that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And the fact that you've got a bit of a I heard on your stream you have a bit of a qualification process that just makes a lot of sense, and you're working with the right people who really want to be in the industry, who've also done some work on themselves. So I really liked that, and you obviously stream as well. Where can people find you there?
My main place is Twitch, so twitch.tv/Kyle Phillips Fun. I'm basically Kyle Phillips Fun anywhere. I started dual streaming on Twitch and TikTok. That's where you found me, tiktok.com/@Kyle Phillips Fun. But yeah, I stream 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday nights at 8:30 Central Standard Time. And then Wednesdays at noon is kind of my longer day stream. So yesterday I did a long Sea of Thieves stream, but I love streaming. That was something that I did a year before the pandemic happened. I did a stream with Rico Fajardo, who's Mirio. And that was my first. I knew like Twitch existed, but never really got into it. And then he was like, hey, I just got Death Stranding. You want to come on stream and play it with me? And I was like, okay. And I became fascinated with it. I was like, wow, like da-da-da, and you're talking with people, whatever. And so it's just kind of in the back of my head. And then when the pandemic happened, all of a sudden I had all this free time. And I was like, let's start streaming. And so I started doing it. And it's so wild, especially going back and looking at those first streams, because it was me on a MacBook Air sitting on a TV tray in my living room, actually using this microphone that you're hearing me on here, and just the MacBook Air built-in camera. But it was a lot of fun figuring stuff out, and I feel like I've come a long way, but I still feel like a baby streamer. But yeah, come hang out, come play Smash Bros with me. I play Smash Bros every Sunday, and anytime I do a multiplayer game, unless I have like guests on playing with me, I always play with viewers, and I like to play with people and have fun. It's real casual and chaotic, and I keep things PG-13. You know, as a father, I like the idea of a parent being able to trust that they can have their kids watch my streams and just hear the occasional fart joke or whatever. So I try to keep things PG-13, and
I noticed that, and that's good because having you in the background or something, or chucking you up, or it's important because the kids are there. So that's I like that. I really did like that as well. And Sea of Thieves is my jam as well. Sea of Thieves is an amazing game. It's so bloomin' good. And by the way, talking about time zones, I'm in New Zealand, so it's 9:30 in the morning here, and
Wow.
that's why I'm dressed up like I'm in the South Island of New Zealand. That's why I'm dressed up like an Eskimo because my little studio's in my camper van, and it's cold. But
Oh, really?
it's about 4.
Oh, that's right, because you're in the southern hemisphere, so it's winter for you right now.
Yeah, it's 4 degrees at the moment
Ooh.
here.
Hey Siri, what's 4 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit?
It's 39.
Wow. Okay. Hey Siri, Hey Siri, what's 108 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius?
I found this on the web.
Oh, thanks. So it's 42 degrees here in Dallas, Texas.
What? Wow. You're in Texas as well, Bjorvio, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were at Fan Expo Dallas. There you go.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True. All right. Well, no, that's great. That's
How did you guys connect then?
we met over.
It was my All Might scene, if I remember. I did a impression of the All Might versus Nomu fight, and he commented on the video, and then I was like, "Oh, this guy runs a podcast. That's cool. Let's get in touch. Let's talk about him." And it was just kind of an instant spark from there. We've really just kind of hit it off. We've really only known each other like a few months, but it feels like years and years, honestly.
Our whole lives.
Oh, that's cool.
Whole
lives.
We keep it hidden from our wives, but no, we've got a relationship.
Man, I was actually this close to going to a convention in New Zealand last year. It was one of the Armageddon expos. They do like 4 a year.
Yep.
And it was like a month out, and I had Caitlin Glass on the stream, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll see you in New Zealand in a couple weeks." And I was like, no, like they haven't announced this yet. And she's like, "It's in a few weeks. Like, what's the deal?" And I was like, "Yeah, what is the deal?" And so I looked, and apparently they're having problems securing a venue. And then basically they were like, "If we can't secure a venue by this date, we're gonna have to postpone the convention." And so they couldn't, and they had to postpone it. So
no, that's annoying. Well, we need to get you here now that you've got the contacts with Armageddon people. Yeah, we need to get you here. That'd be great because you haven't been to New Zealand then.
Nope.
You'll love it. You'll really love it.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I want to go just to like be a hobbit.
Completely. Well, my brother is actually Frodo Baggins. No, I'm sure. No, Frodo. No. But no, seriously, where I live in the South Island, you'll see Christchurch. I live near Christchurch, so I went to the Christchurch Armageddon Expo. But driving through there, you do feel like you're in Lord of the Rings. Just the mountains, and there's a lot of short, hairy people as well in New Zealand. So you do feel, honestly, you feel like you're there. And I live in a tiny house, so it basically is a hobbit home. I live in a
there you go.
But
I like when people when they talk about like who's your favorite like Lord of the Rings like race or whatever, and like when you're a kid, it's the elves. They're cool, they're super good. Legolas can shoot anyone with the bow, and then you get a little older, you're in your 20s, and you're like, I want to be a dwarf and like gold and drinking. And then when you get really old, it's like, I just want to be a hobbit. I want to just eat all the time, have parties all the time. I have my own garden. I'm away from the troubles of the world. Like, and that's absolutely true. It's like, I'd love to be a hobbit. You just walk around outside, no shoes. Like, let's go.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, let's get you here, and I've got a spare bed you can sleep on, Kyle. So no stress. I got you with accommodation.
Sounds good.
But no, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Kyle. You are such a talent, and we are massive fans of yours. We were talking it up before we got on the Zoom. We were like, okay, all right, this is it. Let's get into it. Let's get in. We always slap each other in the face, virtually before the episode to pump ourselves
Virtually.
It
up.
always really hurt, surprisingly.
I'm good. That's my force. It's my force, It can reach that far. But I really appreciate having you on. Could you potentially take us out? And I'll stop the recording after this. Could you take us out, saying maybe let's go Denki's voice. Maybe you can say, "Hi, I'm Kyle, the voice of Denki, and thanks for listening to the Anime Dad podcast."
Kyle Phillips here, voice of Denki Kaminari and My Hero Academia, and I hope you enjoyed the Anime Dad podcast. We'll see you for the next one.